Do you know if it's an older phone?
I have no idea.
Does it ring until the person gets up?
No, I think they've got an answering machine.
Hey everyone, this is Tim Souza with Real Estate en Route, and I am here today with Scott Somerville, and he works in Perth, Ontario, and I'm getting to explore Perth, which is an amazing little town, super cute, and a lot of you get a little river, a little downtown space, lots of little coffee shops and local eateries, which I think is just, I didn't expect, honestly. I'm gonna be honest with you. Coming from Toronto, I just kind of thought that there was nothing really up north until you hit Ottawa. But there's civilization here, guys. So it is a phenomenal, cute little town that I hear a lot of people are moving to. From as I talk to people, that the market's kind of booming and growing here. But with all that being said, I'm here to kind of talk to Scott about his expertise, what he knows about Perth, and what his experience has been here in real estate. So without further ado, Scott, tell us about yourself a little bit. How long have you been in real estate? Who do you work with? Tell.
Okay. I was born and raised here on a farm. Went to University of Guelph, which is an agricultural university.
Cool. I went to the University of Waterloo, so right on the
Those are
farm.
right neighbors. And I ran the farm and ran a farm equipment dealership for years, and then I got a job over Ontario and Quebec selling farm equipment.
Awesome.
Directly to the dealers. And then I retired, and the gentleman that owns Century 21 Explorer has known me forever. And I used to work for him doing insurance years ago.
Okay, so you've got insurance experience, you've got some farming experience, farm equipment experience.
True,
So, yeah, so you've got a kind of a myriad of...
Yeah, and I've owned some other businesses through various dealings with the equipment business and that. So his name's Ralph Shaw, and he's been in the business since the 70s, late 70s, I think.
For a while.
Yeah. So just tons of information from him. Explorer, Century 21 Explorer, has the head office is in little town Carlton Place, which you've driven through.
Carlton Place, yeah, not too long ago.
So the company generally average sales, I think I was just looking back before here, is somewhere between 550 and 650 sales. 550 to 650 averages. So that's sales. I don't think that's AMs, as you'd know. But this year we're at over 450 already. It's only September, so it's got all that. I think it's 7 church buildings, like active congregations, plus a myriad of other congregations that meet other places. That's one of their things. Restaurants, there's 40 some eating establishments in Perth.
Okay. And they're all kind of in that downtown...
Spread out.
Or they're spread out
They're
too?
spread out. There's a lot downtown. A lot of the pubs are downtown, but the highway is getting built up with franchise. There's a St. Louis just opened there.
Okay, yeah.
Starbucks and things. So they want to know that. Perth has 3 theaters. Okay. For live theater.
So, okay.
And then they have festivals. There's the Stuart Park Festival, which is a 3-day music festival held up in that big park that you just saw. Totally free. Supported by the business community.
Really? Okay, that's really cool.
And the Ontario Grants thing. And with some fairly big names. So there's a festival every weekend in Perth.
Oh, that's kind of fun. All summer.
Yeah, and it starts with the Maple Festival, because we're in the maple syrup capital of Canada.
Oh, there you go. So
here.
that's
or Ontario. Maybe we should say Ontario, because Quebec might argue.
Quebec will argue.
So there's the Maple Festival, which a lot of the maple producers, which we're known for around here,
come into the area and then
sell their wares, and there's music at that, and it shuts down the downtown street. So there's a lot of things, a lot of factories are bringing people in. Perth has a lot to offer. Plus the old architecture and just the feel. It's built on a grid pattern. It's not 10 things going into one circle. There was actual plans built on this. It was an original military settlement.
Oh, okay. Well, that would explain.
Supposedly it was going to be the capital of Canada, and then Bytown got it because the 3 Rivers instead of just the Rideau. And
interesting.
Rideau would made it too easy to attack Perth because they could not come up from the St. Lawrence.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, Lake Ontario, I guess.
So it was defensive that they moved the capital to where Ottawa is now.
Yeah, because if you got past Kingston, you could come right up and bring your boats. So it's a desired place to be. You're an hour from Brockville, an hour from Kingston, an hour from Ottawa. So we're kind of the hub
Your central point for
Yeah.
well, it's one of the reasons that when I was looking at the map and I was like, okay, I want to stop through some smaller communities. I chose Perth because it was kind of right in the middle of Ottawa, Kingston.
Yeah, so I think that's all. It just Perth is obviously the best place to live in Ontario.
Obviously, that's just what I've learned. And this has been I've been hearing, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this has been, at least from in the Ottawa area, they've been saying that it's very much a seller's market right now, that it kind of is still booming, and it kind of boomed all the way through the summer.
That's true. Yeah, it's for the last couple of years it's been hot because there hasn't been a lot of inventory. Every town is low on inventory. I was talking to you earlier, and there's, I think a couple months ago there was between the value of 175 and 325.
Right. Okay.
There was like 8 houses in Perth for sale.
Just 8. And how many homes are there in Perth? If you were to like ballpark it.
There's 6,000 people, so maybe 1,000 homes, maybe
1,000 homes ish in the Perth downtown Perth, not including countryside.
Not including the country.
Right. So then, 8 out of those
was for sale. Yeah. So the problem that has been over the last couple of years is people want to sell their house, but they don't have any place to go. So they don't put their house on the market until they find a place to go.
So do you have a lot of contingent offers then?
A ton of them, yes.
Okay.
And you get a lot of competitive offers because everybody's looking for a place to go, and something comes up that's desirable and everybody wants it, and then they can sell theirs.
How long have you been in the real estate industry? Or because we were talking a little bit about your experience, so how long have you been in real estate and how long have you been in real estate in Perth?
I've been licensed in real estate for just about 3 years.
Okay.
I played in real estate for about 10 years before that and had a number of properties.
When it comes to the life cycle of a client, what are some of the questions you find yourself answering for clients rather consistently?
Purchase of a property in 10 or 15 or 20 years, are they going to get their money back, or are they going to make money and then they expect us to have a crystal ball and say it'll be this much? No one knows. It depends on the government. It depends on whatever. Being able to do projections and using history to show an average increase in the value of a house of 3% a year in a certain area, showing like in the house that we just viewed, the renovations that have been done. So you can buy a house for $280,000, but you might have to put $80,000 or $90,000 into it, where this one's already been done. So it's watching things like that and being able to point out to people the wiring, the plumbing, the different things that you see. And again, that's not, as a realtor, it's not our expertise, but we can point out what we see as an issue, and then we recommend a good building inspector. Whenever you buy something, get a building inspection.
Get a building inspection done.
I talk to the client, find out what they are looking for. Then I highly, highly recommend that they talk to a mortgage broker.
Okay, why do you recommend them talking to a mortgage broker?
First off, currently the financing situation, there's really cheap money out there, like less than 3%. Really? But it's hard to get it.
Okay.
So you got to be gold. If you talk to a mortgage broker when you're starting the process and you failed to pay the cell phone company 6 years ago because you didn't agree with the payment, so you told them, I'm never dealing with you again, move on. That's still in your credit bureau. So your $45 is hurting you buying your $400,000 house.
Okay.
Go to a mortgage broker, they'll tell you how to clean that up.
Interesting. So they kind of put you on a plan to
and you need like 90 days.
Okay.
So go now.
So like the basement where you look at it and be like, hey, this is
something to look at.
This is part of owning a historic home. This is what it's like to have a home that was built in the late 1880s.
Yes.
Or 1800s, as you were saying.
And the building inspector can come in and say, this is fine. You're going to, so it's simple things like that.
Simple fixes. Nothing to like freak out about or like.
Yeah, and they can point out, and the good ones will tell you this. They'll give you a 40-page book of your inspection.
So you can.
Yeah, the first 3 pages are the things, or 2 pages, things you got to address. Right away. After that, it's something to do in the next 15 years. What you're, and they generally will give you a time frame and what to look for when it's getting closer. But it's so nice because you've got your own honey-do list already
done for you.
Yeah.
The inspector. 100%. Okay, here's a fun question that I don't know. So, if you were to be a room in the home, what room would you choose to be? Like if you got to be a space in a house.
There's a whole lot of ways to go with this.
Yeah.
As a realtor,
I'd
say the kitchen because I like serving people.
Okay.
And making them happy.
Right.
How was that?
That's good. lot of people say kitchen, and it's the heart of the home, like all those pieces. So talk to me about this home. So like, what's the history of this home? What's the pieces? This is Wool.
So this home was built in the late 1800s when Perth was just starting. Across the road is the public high school.
Okay.
Which when I went there was like 1,400 students. Now I gather there's 400.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's really
changed.
gone down.
Does that have to do with the demographics of the region?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Perth is an old town, as I mentioned before. It's a lot of old retired money. There was factories here that were very good. So this would have been one of the probably merchants' houses built back in that time. Well built square, red brick Edwardian house. The veranda on the front, where the high school is, would have been hayfields at the time.
Okay.
Like there was a farm over there. So it was built well and taken care of. It's had the upgrades over the years, new windows, new doors. Roof obviously always kept up.
Better insulating features through the home.
Yeah, all the way through. There's a fireplace there that used to work. They've capped off the chimney in the last couple of years. Okay. In my opinion, kind of a weird place for a fireplace in the corner.
But it's probably more functional than anything else.
Yeah, so put a gas insert into it. It'd be a beautiful little fireplace. It's high ceilings throughout. Very quiet home. Built-in window seat over there. Just a lot of little features that you see as you're coming through. Cove moldings a lot of the way through the...
Right, you were saying that there's been money put into like update it and make it feel like it's not stuck in the late 1800s.
True, yes, yeah. And a lot of antique fixtures.
So talk to me about some of the fixtures. You were saying that they were coming, like the people who own the home now had a space in Toronto, or they...
No, the people who owned it just before. These
okay.
guys. His family had a couple antique stores in Toronto.
Okay.
And of course you look after your family. So he was renovating this older home, and they got him true lead glass chandeliers from some hotel in Toronto. They got a couple other light fixtures, solid brass, from mansions in Toronto. He had told me the names of the mansions.
They're mansions.
It didn't mean anything to me, so I've forgotten them. But they're here in solid brass, like they weigh a ton and a half, to lift them up.
There's little trumpets on the
there's a hunting one there, and there's in the kitchen. There's a porcelain globe light from one of the old schoolhouses around the 1900s in Toronto.
So there's a lot of these pieces have been brought up that are kind of historic and put into a historic home.
And he's got some of the background of it to tell you that, and so these owners have kept that to tell. Again, it's all tying in. Perth, the town of Perth, was the heritage pilot for Heritage Canada.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, so it was the first town with a heritage designation and has a heritage downtown core.
Interesting. Okay.
Buildings get designated as heritage. It's kind of good, kind of not good. It's great because it's all original. But if you own it, you've got to redo everything to the original. So you can't put your vinyl windows onto it. You have to go with the old wooden ones, so you have to keep painting and stuff like that.
Interesting. So it kind of has the restrictions of the heritage community, but also it is a heritage community, so it'll continue to grow and as it goes over.
And it's TV Ontario. In the early 2000s, Perth was voted the prettiest town in Ontario.
Okay.
Some other magazine voted it prettiest town in Ontario, sort of in the mid 2000s. Cottage Life, just in 2017, and I've got I think it was June or July of 2017. It was one of the top 10 towns in Ontario to go to. I think they call it top 10 quaintest towns, and then they say it's the prettiest towns.
It could have been the capital, so you should be here. It's got...
It's a military settlement, so everything's laid out on the grid.
You don't have to memorize all kinds of curvy streets.
Last fatal duel in Upper Canada was fought here.
Last fatal duel?
Yeah, with the back-to-back.
Back-to-back and
boom. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So, and that's a big historical thing here.
Oh.
Mammoth cheese, the biggest cheese ever made, was here. Went to the World's Fair in Chicago, I think it is. There's a big...
I think there's a cheese factory at a little town space.
That's a cheese store.
Oh, that's a cheese store.
There was cheese factories all around here when it was starting.
Did they all work together to build?
No. Well, for that, they all worked together to build that
mammoth cheese
that went to the World's Fair. And if you go downtown, across from the town hall in that parking lot, there's a replica of it.
Oh, really?
On the
we're gonna find
original old
We'll find
wagon.
this replica, and this is where it'll be clipped in.
Take a picture,
yeah.
Lots of festivals, lots of things to do.
Interesting.
And lots of restaurants and entertainment. What else could you ask for?
Really? A peaceful, quiet town? driving distance from larger spaces,
Yeah.
right on the water. Yeah.
Award-winning hospital, big thing for retirees. It's got the highest rating, I believe, that there is for a number of years now. They always want more money, but I mean, that's just the nature of our system.
The community. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for giving me this time and for, jumping on at a kind of couple days notice. This has been awesome. I've really appreciated having you and just the expertise of all the different parts of the home, and has been amazing. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for asking me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. All right, cheers. And we will see you in our next episode, which will be headed to Smiths Falls. So stay tuned. And this is Real Estate en Route.